553. Last headword was gift. New word, type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with revision. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. First question. If there is no auxiliary verb in the question, which verb do we use? If there is no auxiliary verb, which verb do we use? If there is
If there
no
is no
auxiliary verb,
auxiliary verb,
we use do
we
in
use
the
do
short
in the
reply.
short reply.
Okay, reply to the following statement as if the same situation is true for you. Okay, number one, I can speak English. I can speak English. So can
So
I.
can I.
I won't go there. I won't go there. Neither will I.
Neither will I.
I am a student. I am a student. So am I.
So am I.
I haven't got a car. I haven't got a car. Neither have
Neither
I.
have I.
My mother lives a long way from here. My mother lives a long way from here. So does
So
mine.
does mine.
My best friend doesn't smoke. My best friend doesn't smoke. Nor does mine.
Nor does mine.
What do I mean if I say I can speak French and so can my mother? What do I mean if I say I can speak French and so can my mother? If you say
If you
I can
say,
speak
I can
French
speak
and so
French,
can
and
my
so
mother,
can my
you
mother,
mean that
you mean
you
that
can speak
you can
French
speak
and
French,
your
and
mother
your
can
mother
speak
can speak
French too.
French too.
Very good. Although sweets aren't good for the health, is it okay to have a bit of chocolate sometimes? Although sweets aren't good for the health, is it okay to have a bit of chocolate sometimes? Yes,
Yes,
although
although
sweets
sweets
aren't good
aren't
for the
good
health,
for the
it's
health,
okay
it's
to have a
okay
bit
to
of
have a bit
chocolate
of chocolate
sometimes.
sometimes.
Very good. If you were an employer and one of your employee phoned you to say that they were feeling a bit ill, would you think that was a good enough reason for them not to come to work? If you were an employer and one of your employees phoned you to say that they were feeling a bit ill, would you think that was a good enough reason for them not to come to work? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I
if
were
I
an
were an
employer and
employer
one of
and
my
one of my
employees
employees
phoned me to
phoned
say
me to
that
say
they were
that they
feeling a
were
bit
feeling a
ill,
bit ill,
I think
I
that was
think
a good
that
enough reason
it was a good that
enough
was a good enough reason
for them not
for
to
them
come to work.
not to come to
Oh,
work.
very good employer. Okay. What is a snag? What is a snag? A snag
A
is
snack
a small
is a
problem.
small problem.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I need to send
I
him
need
an
send
email.
him an email.
One more. I need to
I need
send
to
him
send
an
him
email.
an
But
email,
there's just
but
one
there is
snag.
just one snack.
My Wi-Fi
My
isn't
Wi-Fi
working.
isn't working.
Wait, is your country usually defeated at football? Is your country usually defeated at football? Yes or no?
Yes,
My
my
country is
country
usually
is
defeated
usually
at
defeated
football.
at football.
Do you know which political party suffered defeat in the last elections in your country? Do you know which political party suffered defeat in the last elections in your country? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
know
don't
which
know
political
which
party
political
suffered
party
defeat
suffered defeat
in the last
in
election
the last
in my
election
country.
in my country.
Very good. What is a phrase? What is a phrase? A phrase
A
is a
phrase
collection
is
of
a
words
collection of
that
words
belong
that
together
belong
in a
together
sentence
in a sentence
because together
because
they
together
form a
they
particular
form a
part
particular
of the
part
sentence.
of the sentence
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. At high
at
speed.
high speed.
Very good. Okay. What does the verb to mind mean? What does the verb to mind mean? The verb to
The verb
mind
to
means
mind
to
means
object
to
to,
object
to
to,
consider,
to
to be
consider,
careful
to
of,
be careful
and to
of,
look
and
after.
to look after.
Very good. What can we say to the other passengers before opening the window of a train or a bus? What can we say to the other passengers before opening the window of a train or a bus? Before
We,
opening the
before
window
opening the
of
window
a train or a
of a
bus,
train or a
we
bus,
can
we
say
can
to the
say
other
to the
passengers,
other passengers,
"Excuse me,
"Excuse
would
me,
you mind
would you
if I
mind
open the
if I
window?
open the window?"
Do you mind if people smoke near you when you're eating in a restaurant? Do you mind if people smoke near you when you're eating in a restaurant? Yes or no?
Yes,
I mind
I
if
mind
people
if
smoke near
people
me
smoke
when
near me when
when I'm
I'm
eating
eating
in a
in a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Very good. And if you do mind, what can you say? And if you do mind, what can you say? If I do
If I
mind,
don't
I
mind,
can say,
I can
"Excuse
say,
me,
"Excuse me,
but would you
but
mind
would you
not
mind
smoking,
not
please?"
smoking, please?"
Very good. What does someone mean if they say, "Don't mind me, carry on with what you're doing"? What does someone mean if they say, "Don't mind me, carry on with what you're doing"? If someone
If
says,
someone says,
don't mind me,
"Don't mind me,"
carry on with what
carry
you're
on
doing,
with what you're doing,
they mean don't
they
consider
mean
me
don't consider me
or don't think
or
about
don't
me.
think about me.
Very good. Okay, if you don't mind what you said in public, what might happen? If you don't mind what I said in public, what might happen? If I didn't
If I
mind
didn't mind
what I said in
what I
public,
said in public,
I might get
I
into
might
trouble.
get into trouble.
Very good. Okay. If a sign above a door says mind your head, what does it mean? If a sign above a door says mind your head, what does it mean? If a sign
If a
above a
sign
door says
above a door says,
mind your head,
"Mind your
it
head,"
means that
it means
the
that
door is low
the door is
and you
low
must be
and you
careful
must be
not to
careful
hit your head
not
on
to
it.
hit your head
On it.
on it.
Very good. Do you mind what other people say or think about you? That is it important to you? Do you mind what other people say or think about you? That is it important to you? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
mind what
mind
other people
what other
say
people
and think
say
about
and
me.
think about
That
me.
is, it is
That is
important to me.
it's important to me.
Why? Why?
uh,
Because?
because I'd like to make good relationship.
Very good. When parents have to go out together in the evening, who usually minds their baby? When parents have to go out together in the evening, who usually minds their baby? When parents
When
have to go
parents
out
have to
together
go
in the
out
evening,
together in the
a
evening,
babysitter
a babysitter
usually minds their
usually
baby.
minds their baby.
Very good. What's a childminder? What's a childminder? A
A
childminder is
childminder
someone
is
who looks
someone who
after
looks
a
after
very young
a
child
very young
while
child
the parents are at
while the
work.
parents are at work.
Very good. Okay. What does the idiom be into something mean? What does the idiom be into something mean? The idiom
The
be into
idioms
something mean.
be into something
M-
mean
Have a strong
have
interest
a strong
in
interest
something.
in something.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Most teenagers
Most
these
teenagers
days are
these days are
into
into
computer games.
computer games.
Very good. Okay, next. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're switching the
You are
light
switching
off.
the light off.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're switching
You are
the light
switching
on.
the light on.
Very good. What do we mean by a preparatory it? What do we mean by a preparatory it? By a
By a
preparatory it,
preparatory it,
we mean that
we
we
mean
use
that
the word
we
it
use the word
at
it
the beginning of a
at the beginning
sentence
of a
to
sentence
prepare us
to
for
prepare
some
us for
information
some
that
information
comes later
that comes
in the
later in
sentence.
the sentence.
Very good. Give me three examples. Give me three examples, please. It is very
It
difficult
is very
to
difficult
understand
to
what he
understand
says.
what he says.
Was it usual for him
Was it usual for
to
him
come here
to
every
come
Sunday?
here every Sunday?
It isn't common
It isn't
to
common
find that
to
kind of
find
bird
that kind of bird
in this part of the
in this
country.
part of the country.
Where is it easy to learn to speak English as well as an English person? Is it easy to learn to speak English as well as an English person? No, it
No,
isn't
it
easy
isn't
to learn to
easy
speak
to learn
English
to speak
as well
English
as
as
an
well
English
as an
person.
English person.
Is it common in your country for people to eat a cooked breakfast in the morning? Is it common in your country for people to eat a cooked breakfast in the morning? Yes or no?
No,
It isn't
it
common
isn't
in my
common in
country
my
for
country
people to
for
eat
people
a
to
cooked
eat a
breakfast in
cooked
the morning.
breakfast in the morning.
Very good. Have you determined what you're going to do for your next holidays? Have you determined what you're going to do for your next holidays? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't determined
I haven't
what
determined
I'm going to
what
do
I'm going to
for
do
my next
for my next
holidays.
holidays
Why not? Why not? Because
because uh, I
because
couldn't decide
I couldn't
now
decide yet.
yet.
Very good. When you start to do something like learning a language, are you usually determined to continue to the end, even though what you have started is extremely difficult? When you start to do something like learning a language, are you usually determined to continue to the end, even though what you have started is extremely difficult? Yes or no?
No,
When I start to
when
do
I start
something
to do
like
something
learning a
like
language,
learning a
I'm not
language,
usually
I'm not
determined
usually
to
determined
continue
to
to the end
continue to the
if
end
What I
If
have
what
started
I have
is
started
extremely
is
difficult.
extremely difficult.
Very good. Who's the most determined person you know or have ever met? Who's the most determined person you know or have ever met? The most
The most
determined person
determined
I
person
know is.
I know is my boss.
Very good. For success in life generally, which do you think is more important than anything else? The determination to succeed, luck, hard work, or intelligence? For success in life generally, which do you think is more important than anything else? The determination to succeed, luck, hard work, or intelligence? For success in
For
life
success in life,
generally, I
generally,
think
I think luck
is
is
more
more
important
important
than anything else.
than anything else.
Very good. What are the three forms of steel? What are the three forms of steel? The three
The three
forms of
forms of
steel are
steel
steal,
are still
stole, stolen.
stolen.
Right? If someone steals your umbrella, does that mean that you have the right to steal someone else's? If someone steals your umbrella, does that mean that you have the right to steal someone else's? No. If
No,
someone
if someone
steals my
steals
umbrella,
my
it
umbrella,
doesn't mean
it
I
doesn't
have the
mean
right to
I have
steal
the right to steal
someone else's.
someone else's.
If someone stole a book from a shop and was caught doing so, what would probably happen? If someone stole a book from a shop and was caught doing so, what would probably happen? If
If
someone stole a
someone
book
stole a book
from a
from
shop
a shop
and was caught
and
doing
was
so,
caught doing
the
so,
owner of the
the
shop
owner of a
would
shop
probably
would
call the
probably call
police.
the police.
Have you ever had anything stolen from you in your town? Have you ever had anything stolen from you in your town? Yes or no?
No,
I've
I've never.
had anything
I had
stolen.
any.
One
I
more. No, I've never
no.
had
I've never had
anything stolen from
anything
me
stolen from
in
me
my town.
in my town.
Would you say you were a rather active kind of person? Would you say you were a rather active kind of person? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
say
wouldn't
I was
say
a
I
rather
was a
active
rather
kind of
active
person.
kind of person.
What kind of activities interest you most of all? What kind of activities interest you most of all? The kind of
The kind of
activities that
activities
interest
that
me
interest
most of
me
all
most
are
of all are
going out with
going
friends,
out with friends,
reading, etc.
reading, etc.
Right, supposing a group of foreign students came to stay with you for the weekend, what would you organize for them? Supposing a group of foreign students came to stay with you for the weekend, what would you organize for them? Supposing a group of
Supposing a
foreign
group of
students
foreign
came
students
to stay with
came
me
to stay
for
with
the
me
weekend,
for the
I'd
weekend,
organize
I'd organize visiting sightseeing spots
for them.
for them.
Very good. Are you good at organizing things? Are you good at organizing things? Yes or no?
No,
I'm not
I'm not
good at
good at
organizing things.
organizing things.
Very good. What kind of gift would you give a boy of 15? What kind of gift would you give a boy of 15? The kind of gift
The kind
I'd
of gift
give a boy
I'd give a
of
boy of
15 would
15
be a
would be a bicycle.
bicycle. Very good. Okay, next. Do you think you should always accept a gift from a friend even if you don't like what they have chosen? Do you think you should always accept a gift from a friend even if you don't like what they have chosen? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think you
I
should
think
always
you
accept
should
a
always
gift
accept
from a
a
friend
gift of from a friend,
even if you don't
even
like
if you don't
what
like
they have chosen.
what they have chosen.
Very good. What do we mean if we say that someone has a gift for languages? What do we mean if we say that someone has a gift for languages? If we say
If
that
we say
someone,
could someone
Mama, if we say
if
that
we say
someone
that
has
someone
a gift for
has a gift
languages,
for
we
languages,
mean that
we
they
mean
are
that they
naturally
are
good
naturally
at
good
learning
at
languages.
learning languages.
Do you know how a car engine works? Do you know how a car engine works? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
know
don't
how a
know
car
how a
engine
car
works.
engine works.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Okay, so repeat. Barrel,
Barrel,
beer.
beer,
Very good. Okay, listen. Beer and barrel are nouns. Barrel is a round, usually wooden container with curved sides and flat ends. Beer is an alcoholic drink like wine. For example, we use a barrel for keeping large quantities of wine or beer in. Let's practice. What do we use for keeping large quantities of wine or beer in? What do we use for keeping large quantities of wine or beer in? We use a
We
barrel
use a
for
barrel
keeping
for
large
keeping large
quantities of
quantities of
wine or
wine
beer in.
or beer in.
Very good. Next, repeat. Steam.
Steam.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word steam is a noun. Steam is produced by boiling water. Let's practice. How steam produced? How steam produced? Steam is
Steam
produced
is
by
produced
boiling
by
water.
boiling water.
Very good. Next, repeat. Oppose.
Oppose.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word oppose is a verb. It means to disagree. For example, when I wanted to go on holiday alone and my parents opposed my plan, I asked them to go with me. Let's practice. When you wanted to do something as a child and your parents opposed your plans, what did you do? When you wanted to do something as a child and your parents opposed your plans, what did you do? When I wanted
When I
to do
wanted
something
to do
as a
something
child
as a child
and my parents
and my parents
opposed my plans,
opposed my plans,
I.
I persuade them.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Seat.
Sit.
Stool.
Stool.
Very good. Okay, listen. Seat and stool are nouns. A seat is anything that we sit on. For example, a seat in a car, or a seat in the cinema, or a seat on the bus. The difference between a chair and a stool is that a stool does not have a backrest. Seat also means a place where the people who run the government, religion, etc. are based. Let's practice. What's a seat? What's a seat? A seat
A
is
seat
anything
is
that we sit
anything
on.
that we sit on.
Do men in your country stand up and offer their seats to women on buses? Do men in your country stand up and offer their seats to women on buses? Yes or no?
No,
Men in my country
men in my
don't
country
stand up
don't
and
stand up
offer their
and
seats
offer their
to
seat
women on
to
buses.
women on buses.
Yeah, neither in my country. Okay. Do you think they ought to? Do you think they ought to? Yes or no?
Uh, no,
I don't think
I
they
don't
ought
think
to.
they ought to
Why not? Why not? Because
because uh, uh,
you can say men and women are
men
equal.
and women are equal.
Very good, but it would be like a gentleman. Okay. What's the difference between a chair and a stool? What's the difference between a chair and a stool? The difference
The
between
difference
a
between
chair
a
and a
chair
stool
and a
is that a
stool
stool
is that the stool
does not have a
does not
backrest.
have a backrest.
Backrest, very good. About how many passengers does the average bus seat? About how many passengers does the average bus seat? The average
The
bus
average
seats
bus
about
seat about uh, 30
passengers.
passengers.
Very good. Where's the seat of government in your country? Where's the seat of government in your country? The seat of
The
government
seat of
in
government
my
in
country
my
is
country
in
is in
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Very good. Okay, now let's have idiom number 4. Get on somebody's nerves.
Get on somebody's nerves.
Very good. Listen, get on somebody's nerves means to irritate somebody, to make them angry. For example, the noise those children make gets on my nerves. Let's practice. What does the idiom get on somebody's nerves mean? What does the idiom get on somebody's nerves mean? The idiom
The
get
idiom
on
get on
somebody's nerves
somebody's
means
nerves means
irritate somebody.
irritate somebody.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Mary's very nice.
Very
Mary's very nice.
Mary is very nice,
But her sister
but her
gets
sister
on my
gets
nerves.
on my
She
nerves.
is always
She
making
is
things
always
difficult.
making me things difficult.
Very good. Next, repeat. I think so.
I think so.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Pass an exam.
Pass an exam.
Very good. Okay, listen. We can use the word so and not to avoid repeating the whole sentence that someone has just said. Okay, for example, someone says to us, "Did you remember to shut the door?" We reply, "Yes, I think so." Or, "No, I don't think so." The word so saves us from repeating the whole sentence like, "Yes, I think I have shut the door." Or, "No, I don't think I have shut the door." The same is true of the word not. For example, if someone asks us, "Will it rain tomorrow?" We could reply, "I hope not." Okay, let's practice. Why do we use the word so and not when replying to someone to something that someone has just said? Why do we use the word so and not when replying to something that someone has just said? We use the
We
word
use
so
the word
and
so
not when
and not
replying to
when
something
replying to
that
something
someone has
that
just
someone
said,
that's
has just said,
has has
has just said.
has just said.
Wait, one more. We use the
We
word
use
so
the word
and
so
not
and
when
not
replying to
when
something
replying to
that
something
someone
that
has
someone
just
has
said
just said
to avoid repeating
to avoid
the
repeating
whole sentence.
the full sentence.
Very good. Give me an example of this use of the word so. Give me some examples of this use of the word so, please. Is that right?
Is that
What
right?
James said.
What the, what
James said,
James said?
I'm afraid so.
I'm afraid
I
so.
hope so.
I hope
I
so.
suppose so.
I suppose so.
I think so.
I think so.
Give me some examples of the use of the word not. Give me some examples of the use of the word not, please. Is that right?
Is that
What
right?
James said?
What James said?
I'm afraid not.
I'm afraid
I
not.
hope not.
I hope not.
I suppose not.
I suppose not.
Very good. Okay, listen. We can also use the word so at the beginning of a sentence when we already know something that someone has just told us. For example, if someone says, Peter has passed his exam, but we already know this fact, we can reply, so I have heard. We only use this structure with the verbs that are connected with the idea of receiving information, such as tell, say, hear, read. Okay, let's practice. When do we use the word so at the beginning of a sentence? When do we use the word so at the beginning of a sentence? We use
We
the word
use the
so
word
at the
so at the
beginning of a
beginning of a
sentence
sentence
when we
when
already
we
know
already know
something that
something
someone
that
has
someone
just told
has
us.
just told us.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Someone says to
Someone
us,
says to us,
Mr. Jones
Mr.
has gone
Jones
to
has
Australia.
gone to
And
Australia.
knowing this fact,
And knowing this fact,
we reply,
we reply,
so we've been told.
so we've been told.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading. Okay, so our reading is at stage 5, paragraph page 390. And, oh, there we go. And our last headword was allow. Oh, please start at page 392. Headword anywhere,
Okay.
somewhere, not anywhere.
Um, Anywhere, somewhere, not anywhere. Where on the wall,